CTV Edmonton. Local breaking news with Silvana Benelich.
That was what Connor wanted. Players were shocked as well. Like, holy cow, what a leader this guy is.
Connor McDavid will stay in Edmonton for at least another 3 seasons. The Oilers captain today signing a 2-year deal worth $25 million. Good evening and thank you for joining us. A sigh of relief for Oilers fans as Connor McDavid inked his deal today. His $25 million contract extension is well below what he could have commanded and less than what 4 other top NHL players make. Oilers general manager Stan Bowman described contract talks with McDavid the last few months as unique, saying money was never discussed.
That was what Connor wanted, and it was not like we made a pitch that he should sign for that amount. That was never. We never had those conversations at all.
McDavid broke the news of his contract extension, writing on social media, "Our journey here continues." Hockey analysts say by McDavid not taking a raise, the team will be better able to sign and trade for other players and get the pieces needed now to win the Cup after falling short the 2 previous seasons.
And that is someone showing that he's committed to winning a Stanley Cup with the Edmonton Oilers because, like everyone discussed, he could be making upwards of $19 million per year with the way that the CBA is structured, and he's nowhere near that.
Some young fans CTV News spoke with were hoping for a longer-term deal, but they say McDavid's leadership speaks volumes.
I think it was a great deal, but personally, I think they should have signed for longer, just not than 2 years, because then after that, if we don't win the Cup, then I think he's going away, and that's going to be a big loss for the Oilers.
It does go show good leadership, help out the team, hopefully get some better players in.
Political leaders also weighing in on the deal. Oilers fan Prime Minister Mark Carney posting, "Crisis averted." Premier Danielle Smith also writing, "Talk about taking one for the team. Thank you, Connor." The Oilers have also inked another player. Defenseman Jake Wallman signed a 7-year, $49 million contract extension today. The Oilers season kicks off on Wednesday, hosting Calgary in a battle of Alberta. A serious crash shut down a busy Southside road tonight. Edmonton police were called to 23rd Avenue at Millwoods Road for what it's calling a serious injury collision. 2 badly damaged vehicles were on scene, including one that was flipped on its roof. It's not known at this time what the injuries are or if there are any fatalities. Alberta teachers are on strike. The union says its members want an agreement that leads to lasting change for future generations. The province responding today by issuing a lockout order. CTV's Connor Hogg has the details.
We refuse to be back in this same fight 5 or 10 years from now. We're striking to break the cycle.
On the first day of what the ATA calls the largest job action in Alberta's history, President Jason Schilling says the province continues to disrespect the teaching profession.
I've had large classes in the 40s, and it is a struggle day and day in. And you leave the day at the end of the day feeling like you failed.
In a statement to CTV News, Finance Minister Nate Horner calls this a sad day for our province. He says the 2 failed votes tell the government union leadership is lost and has no idea what teachers want. Schilling says while teachers will not receive strike pay, some educational assistants and administrators are working inside shuttered school buildings.
We know the days ahead will not be easy. We also know that we are not alone. This was so evident yesterday.
Teachers won't be walking picket lines during the strike, the ATA opting instead for weekend rallies like ones held on Sunday. Labor Relations Professor Jason Foster says both sides will have to listen to public opinion. He says the disruption will intensify if the strike stretches into a second week.
People, a lot of their contingency plans are for a couple of days here, a couple of days there, and suddenly those contingencies start to fade away.
Foster says all workplaces will start to feel the strain, as parents could be forced to use vacation time time, sick days, and unpaid time off to care for their kids.
It's not just those who have kids. It's everybody, I think, in the workplace will feel an impact about it.
The ATA says the province issued a lockout order today that will take effect this Thursday at 1 p.m. Schilling calls the lockout expected, adding the ATA and the province remain in talks. The finance minister is calling on the ATA to seek clarity from its members and bring their specific requests to the table. Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
It's been more than 23 years since Alberta has gone through a teacher's strike.
Get this through your head. There is no more money. Do you want me to say it one more time? There is no more money.
That was then Premier Ralph Klein's message to teachers. In February 2002, 21,000 teachers walked off the job. Unlike the current province-wide strike, the 2002 job action hit a few school divisions at a time. Klein's government ordered teachers back to work 3 weeks later, and a settlement was eventually reached through arbitration. Students, meanwhile, say they feel like their future is at risk because of the strike. They're worried that keeping kids out of the classroom is going to affect their educational and social development. CTV's Evan Kinney has more.
Feels like they're taking chances with our future.
Students in Edmonton are worried about falling behind thanks to the teacher strike.
It kind of feels like a letdown to us kids.
Rania Ali is in grade 12 at Ross Shepherd High School. She expected to be preparing for diplomas and applying for post-secondary schools, not sitting at home.
I would love to be able to just be in school right now and keep learning.
The province has a free education toolkit available to help support kids learning while they are out of school.
The YouTube videos that the government put together or the worksheets, those are alarmingly devoid of, that relational teaching.
Ali would rather learn from her teachers.
They have the experience, they know how to get the job done, and I trust them to carry out my education.
Ali says the strike won't just impact her education. She does extracurriculars before and after school, meaning this strike will affect her social interactions.
Staying just for learning, yes, that's important, but also so much of our lives depend on those connections we build with other people.
Others agree they'll miss those connections, especially after not having them during the online classes throughout the pandemic.
I can't see my friends or anything as much. That was a big part of the day. Now I just have empty space to sit at home and not be very productive.
These students are hoping they can see their friends and teachers again soon. Evan Kenny, CTV News, Edmonton.
Hope Mission is launching emergency meal and day camp programs for children affected by the teachers' strike. It's partnering with Edmonton Catholic to provide lunches at 5 Catholic schools starting 11 a.m. tomorrow. Schools include St. Leo, St. Bernadette, St. Elizabeth, Anne Fitzgerald, and St. Nicholas. The mission says the need for these programs is urgent.
In Edmonton alone, we serve about 15,000 school lunches a month. So that's going to 15,000 stomachs.
Mission will also provide emergency hampers of frozen meals for families on Thursdays at the Tegler Center in Beverly. Several businesses are finding ways to show their support for teachers. Arcadia Brewing giving teachers and staff a pint on the house for every day the strike goes on. Free meals and workouts are available at various businesses in the Edmonton area. Some psychologists are even offering free mental health support. Ground Up Psychology has scheduled several group walk and talk sessions.
I do know, as a former teacher myself, I do know that the teachers, they're not okay. They've been dealing with a lot in the classrooms, and walking away from those children that they support every day is taking its toll on them, and it's been very, very difficult.
We just want to show our solidarity and support to these teachers who are now on strike without pay. So that's a heavy load for them, and Arcadia is all about community for the people, and we want to have the people's back at the moment.
A list of some of the freebies and discounts being offered to teachers is available on our website, ctvnewsedmonton.ca. Advance polls for the municipal election open tomorrow in Edmonton. Anyone unable to vote on October 20th can cast their ballot early at 12 early polling stations around the city. They're open from noon to 8. At least one piece of government ID is required. Those applying for special mail-in ballots should receive them via courier by Wednesday. Because of the Canada Post strike, you are encouraged to return special ballots in person or use courier at your own cost. You can find the advanced polling station closest to you by visiting the city's website. Advanced polls are open tomorrow until October 11th. Premier Danielle Smith will hold a news conference tomorrow to discuss her meeting with the Prime Minister this afternoon. She briefly spoke to reporters in Montreal this morning about building a new pipeline.
I think it's the Prime Minister's job to show some courage in showing leadership on this. We're not going to be a G7 leader, and we're not going to be an energy superpower without the federal government making some decisions to build things again.
Last week, Smith committed $14 million to early planning work for a pipeline to the coast. So far, no private companies have stepped up. BC Premier David Eby says Canada is better served focusing on real projects. Smith hopes Ottawa can get involved. Tomorrow's news conference is at 8 a.m. An Edmonton hot tub repairman accused of defrauding customers has pleaded guilty. At least one victim is happy with the outcome. CTV's Gates Gorin has more on the case.
We just want him to pay for his fraudulent deeds.
Linda Morrison is one of dozens accusing Kenneth David Nicholls of fraud. Morrison says in 2022, she e-transferred Nicholls $500 for a new hot tub cover after he had asked for $1,000 up front.
I don't have $1,000 cash that would wipe out my checking account at this point in time.
After receiving payment, Morrison says she stopped hearing from him.
Day after day, week after week, wasn't answering. And I just like, okay, now, what do I do from here?
Eventually, she managed to get a hold of Nicholls, who claimed she had canceled the payment, but her bank confirmed he had accepted the money. Edmonton police said nearly 50 people came forward alleging Nicholls had taken money from them without providing parts or services he promised. Nicholls pled guilty to one count of fraud over $5,000 and one count of theft over $5,000 in court today. Morrison says although she doesn't expect to see any of her money back, she's pleased to see Nicholls be held accountable.
Our main concern is he's brought to justice and pays for his crimes and for all the defrauding he did to so many people.
Nicholls is due back in court for sentencing later this month. Gates Gorin, CTV News, Edmonton.
Food bank volunteers are trying to ensure that everyone gets a warm meal during what's being expected to be its busiest Thanksgiving ever. As CTV's Merrick DeCash explains, this year a local company is hoping to boost the campaign's power.
We have turkeys, stuffing, cranberries, and everything else that goes with a meal.
Edmonton's food bank is getting ready for one of its biggest weekends of the year. With Thanksgiving coming up, hundreds of volunteers are lending a helping hand, including Mel Parkinson, who's been pitching in for more than 3.5 years.
We're doing an excellent job. Sometimes we run a little low on food, but whatever. We make the best of what we got.
The food bank is helping roughly 2,000 more people this Thanksgiving compared to last year. It's also serving more than 43,000 people a month through its hamper program.
So we know the need is great in our community. We know people are struggling.
The organization's executive director says in the last 5 years, the number of people relying on Edmonton's food bank has nearly doubled.
Plus close to 500,000 meals and snacks through our member agencies. So that's Hope Mission, Bissell, Boyle Street. All those groups that are serving their festive meals are accessing food from our warehouse.
EPCOR is also helping, vowing to match financial contributions ahead of Thanksgiving up to $25,000.
We're really pleased that EPCOR has stepped up. Their staff teams come and volunteer with us, and of course they're doing food drives at all their EPCOR facilities as well for us.
Volunteers are hoping to stuff these hampers with as much local and fresh produce as possible.
Some people get potatoes right from somebody's garden, those carrots from people's gardens.
Donations can be dropped off at the food bank, fire stations, and grocery stores across the city. Merrick DeCash, CTV News, Edmonton.
Coming up, Edmonton's mayoral hopefuls share their plans for safety in the city.
Talking to Edmontonians, they don't feel safe. They don't feel safe in their own backyards. They're not feeling safe on their community.
Good evening, folks. Temperatures pretty close to average today. 13 degrees here in the city. A lot cooler to the north. 5 and 3 for highs in Fort McMurray high level. 16 in Grand Prairie today. We'll see a big warm up tomorrow, although it won't really last more than just one day. We'll take a closer look at that and the rest of your 5 and 10 day forecast in just a few minutes.
Safety in our city is top of mind for Edmontonians as they decide who to support as our next mayor. From crime and disorder on transit to police tactics and fire response times, voters want to know how the candidates plan to make life safer. CTV's Jeremy Thompson has more in part 2 of our mayoral breakdown.
While police data shows crime rates declining in our city, including violent crime, many Edmontonians are not feeling safe. Whether it's hiring more police officers, getting tougher on transit disorder, or improving the relationship with EPS in the province to tackle the root causes of crime, the top mayoral candidates are making their pitches to voters on public safety.
Part of political newcomer Omar Mohamed's campaign for mayor is interviewing Edmontonians for his social media.
I don't think it's very safe, especially in the evening time, I would say.
Crime, homelessness, and policing are frequent topics.
Talking to Edmontonians, they don't feel safe. They don't feel safe in their own backyards. They're not feeling safe on their community. They're not feeling safe on public transit.
Mohamed wants fare gates at LRT stations, a prolific offender task force to crack down on crime, and more supports for the vulnerable.
As home insecurity goes up and food insecurity goes up, so does desperation, so does crime. So I'm going to start there with Housing First Solutions for the homeless.
Former councillor Michael Walters once worked at the Bissell Centre. While he knows the value of social supports, he believes the province should play a larger role.
Healthcare, mental health, addictions, housing. If we start taking those things on ourselves, then we're going to have a whole other tax conversation that's going to be that would be enormous amounts of money.
He says public transit has become a drop-in center when it should be only for paying passengers. As mayor, Walters would expand the safety teams that pair police and peace officers with social workers.
Less politics in policing, more partnerships. It's really begin with that tone, is that the police are an important part of the solution.
Where you have more police presence, it deters crime.
Raheem Jaffer wants a lot more police, and he wants them patrolling transit and business zones. He's pledging to hire 500 new officers over 4 years if elected. He also believes peace officers should have more authority to make arrests.
There would have to be more retraining, and there would have to be the ability for ensuring that they understand the challenges in some of these areas where currently they can't enforce the way that they should.
We need more people of authority visible in our public spaces.
Tim Cartmel wants to ensure people battling addiction and homelessness get the help they need, guided by Indigenous social service providers where appropriate. He also says surrendering train stations and public squares to open drug use isn't the answer.
We stop accepting things that have become just a little bit too normal here as being the normal way of things. But that's not the city we used to be. That's not the city we want to be.
As mayor, Cartmel says he'd pressure Ottawa to change the justice system to keep convicted criminals off of Edmonton streets.
We need to fix bail, we need to fix prosecution, and we need to send people that commit crimes in other places back to those other places to serve out the rest of their sentence on bail or on parole.
Everyone say Andrew Knack wins! Andrew Knack wins!
Cartmel's council colleague Andrew Knack says public safety is about more than the number of officers. He says having only 2 EPS branches south of the river is complicating police work.
For police to be proactive and within community is very challenging when they've got to cover such a large range. We have to look at, do we need a South Central division?
When it comes to addressing root causes of crime, Knack is proud of the work the city is doing to build supportive housing. He believes wading into provincial jurisdiction on mental health, homelessness, and addictions is the right thing to do to prevent suffering on city streets.
We have the opportunity to make a significant difference, but we need to be willing to take the lead instead of just constantly saying, we're just going to keep advocating. We've been advocating for years.
Every candidate says a better relationship between council and police could help with public safety. Under a new chief and commission chair, that's already in progress. Cartmel believes civic awards to acknowledge bravery or community service would bolster that effort. Everyone but Knack supports some version of fare gates for LRT stations, despite an expensive pilot project that was cancelled before it began last fall. He and Walters say the city's safety initiatives should be scrutinized so public dollars can be dedicated to programs producing results, and everyone but Cartmel would spend money rebuilding LRT stations to be safer through design, like Stadium Station at Commonwealth. There are no quick fixes when it comes to safety. Whoever becomes mayor will have a mandate to make changes. Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Welcome back. 6 degrees this morning, 13 for a high this afternoon after back-to-back 12-degree days, Saturday and Sunday. So a little bit milder today. Big warm-up on the way tomorrow out ahead of that low-pressure system. There's the warm air that'll get shoved in. A lot of areas are going to be in the high teens or low 20s. On the backside of this low, though, behind this cold front, you'll see some scattered showers. There might be some pockets, some wet flurries in there. And as that cold front goes through late Tuesday night, you see 8 p.m. still off to the west of us. But overnight, as it goes through, there is a slight chance that you may see a scattered shower in and around the Edmonton region. It's an outside chance, but a chance nonetheless. Better probability closer to the center of this low off in northeastern Alberta and then back off to the west. In fact, that'll be some snow for Wednesday in through parts of western Alberta, especially higher elevations in through the mountains. We might actually see a little bit of wet snow here in the city this weekend. We'll get to that in a moment. There's the cool down for Wednesday. So we're up to about 21 tomorrow, back into the 13-degree range on Wednesday. Here's your little ridge. There's your cool down. Here's the return of some warmer air for Thursday, Friday. I think we'll be in the mid to high teens Thursday, Friday. Maybe we get close to 21 of those days. But this is on the way. Big, cool upper trough through the long weekend, and this cold Arctic air is just going to spill south, and we'll have single-digit daytime highs Sunday and Monday. In fact, 5 degrees for a morning low tomorrow. We'll be in that range for a high on Sunday. Around the freezing mark in eastern Alberta, 6 degrees in Grand Prairie, about 2 in Red Deer. Daytime highs tomorrow should get into the mid to high teens for most of the northwest, a little cooler in high level. Fort McMurray, big warm up from where you were today. Air up to 17, 20 in Cold Lake, close to 20 Lloydminster, about 22 in Red Deer, and chance of showers is 16 in Jasper. Here in Edmonton, just a slight risk late tomorrow night for a shower. Through the daytime hours, though, partly cloudy skies, nice and warm, up to 21. 13 on Wednesday, sunshine for Thursday, Friday, mid to high teens, and then the cool down for the long weekend with a chance of showers turning to some wet snow through Saturday and into Saturday night. That is your forecast.
The Toronto Blue Jays are in New York City for what could be the final game of the American League Division Series. As CTV's Alliston Hurst reports, fans are thrilled with the team's start.
A moment in Blue Jays franchise history. Caught in the stands by Brendan Craig, barehanded, overhead, in the second deck.
Instincts took over, and I played ball my whole life, so all those years of practicing and playing, they finally paid off.
Craig and his wife bought their tickets on Facebook Marketplace to catch the game.
Funny enough, the person who I bought the tickets off, his pitch to sell them was good spot for a Vladdy bomb.
The seats lived up to the promise, made sweeter by it also being the first Grand Slam in postseason franchise history. But the history-making didn't stop there.
6 Ks through 2 2/3.
Rookie pitcher Trey Yesavage took the mound in his first ever postseason start.
He's built for this game. It's awesome.
Setting a franchise record 11 strikeouts in a no-hit postseason game, and he did it in just 5 innings.
What a nice young man. That very pleased the way he's handling the situation.
Yesavage felt the support at the mound.
The energy and the passion that this fan base has, and all 44,000 people that were here tonight, is special.
With the way the entire team played this weekend,
Now Varsho drills one.
fans are feeling pretty confident heading to the Bronx.
3-0 and keep going up to the World Series.
The team is so good this year. I think they're gonna go just up till they win.
Optimistic but not cocky. So I think we can get this series, but it's one game at a time.
Craig will be watching, Grand Slam ball in hand. But what he's going to do with it?
I don't really know. Don't have a plan yet. If they're interested in it, I'd be happy to talk with them and get it back because it's a pretty historic ball.
In an historic series that's not over yet. Allison Hurst, CTV News.
Here in Edmonton, the Riverhawks are hosting watch parties in the Hawks Lounge. The head coach says Jays games have a special significance to fans.
It doesn't always feel like we're just playing to win baseball games. It feels like it's Canada versus the U.S. in a lot of time, and with how strong that they've been this year, it's really fun to rally around them and get connected to the game of baseball.
The next watch party is tomorrow. Doors open an hour before the game starts. Seating is first come, first served. And that is our show for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great night.